Hi, my name is Maceo Lewis. Welcome to ML Movie Reviews. Hit the subscribe button so you can see more of my reviews. Today I'm going to talk about Ballerina. It's going to be a spoiler review, so hit the pause button if you haven't seen the movie. Go and watch it, and then come back and finish watching this review. But overall, I thought I had a good time. I saw the movie twice. I saw it, I believe it was Wednesday night, and then today, and I had a good time both times I watched this movie. So it's a fun action movie. If you're a John Wick fan, you'll definitely like this movie. It's a good addition to the franchise. Is it the best one? I wouldn't say it's the best one, but it's a worthy addition. So I think it's worth checking out in the theater. So let me just get into my spoilers right now. So you've been warned. So I was a little bit. There's a few times where I was a little bit surprised in this movie. Number one, there's this character. I don't remember her name, but she's the black woman. She was part of Angelica Houston's clan family, and she was there when Eve's character was young. I thought that she would play a role later in the film, like maybe like that Angelica Houston would send her to try to take her down or to capture her and kind of use that relationship. But that actually didn't go anywhere, at least by the end of the movie. But I was a little bit surprised about that. And I was a little bit surprised that when we find out that I can't remember the character's name, but the character that turned out to be Eve's sister, I thought that once we found out, I was like, oh, okay, well, these people, they're going to team up and we're going to have like this awesome coordinated fight scene uh, with her fighting against the Gabriel Burns character and the whole cult. But nope, that's not what happened. And I'm calling him Gabriel Byrne. That's the actor. I don't remember the guy's name, but he basically said, "Nah, you both take them both out," and she ends up dying actually in that room. So I was a little bit confused in some parts of the movie because when I saw Daniel Bernhardt, he's the actor who plays the guy who was the sniper. He's the guy who Anna Darmus or Eve broke his arm during that fight. I thought I was a little bit confused because Daniel Brown was also in John Wick 1. He was one of like the main assassins after John Wick, and his character, of course, gets killed by John Wick in the first John Wick movie. But this movie is taking place between John Wick 3 and John Wick 4. So I was a little bit confused because I was like, wait a minute, I thought this was taking place between John Wick 3 and John Wick 4, but this guy who was in John Wick 1, he was also in this movie, but this is taking place after that. But no, like he was basically playing different characters. I can't remember his name in John Wick 1, but he was literally credited as the Scarred Assassin or something like that in this movie. So basically he was playing two different characters, but I was just confused because usually you don't have the same actor in the same franchise in the different movies because like this causes confusion, like especially like if you've seen this person before, you're gonna think that they're the same character. But I think this guy was a different character. So when I saw the movie the second time, it didn't bother me as much. But anyway, I just noticed that. Now, what I liked about this movie, I liked Anna Darmus. She's not like a Mary Sue in this movie. She, basically gets her ass handed to her when she's trying to take down these assassins. And the whole thing with her training, like she's has to learn how to, fight on her terms. Like don't, you're not. She's not going to be able to take these not just males, but just stronger, more experienced fighters on in the hand to hand combat situation, strength versus strength, because she's always going to get beat. But if she fights on her own terms, that's how she's going to win the fight, and that's what she had to learn by the black female character that I was telling you about. And so I liked her in this movie. I think she's a good action star. She obviously proved that in that James Bond movie she was in, and I like to see her a lot more in this universe. And I think we will. I mean, we obviously see in the end that she is getting hunted or getting. She has a contract on her, just like John Wick did at the end of John Wick. And so I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of her later on, and I hope they do. The opening action scene with her dad, that was kind of surprising because I thought they were just going to take him out like quickly, but no, he's actually a badass in himself. And I thought that kill was brutal. It wasn't by him; it was by the cult people that were coming in. Initially, they come out of the water, they kill one guy, but then there's a second guy. He gets an arrow in the head, and then all of a sudden you see a half a dozen other arrows hit him. I was like, dang, that's brutal. I thought the fight choreography was great, especially like in her first mission, Eve's first mission when she's at the club, and she's fighting like the guy who's after the boss's daughter, but then like there's these three other antagonists that's working with the guy, and like how they're all coordinating, they're in sync. Like one would throw a kick, and then after they finish, another would come in and throw a kick, and then the other would come in. I thought it was like amazing choreography, that whole fight scene. The fights were brutal. I mean, there's one scene where she literally like she's fighting this guy. The guy that hits her with the car after she finishes her job where she kills all those people, and then like she breaks his arm or whatever, but then she puts him in between the window of the door, and then she takes the axe pick and hits him in the eye with it. I thought that was everybody in the car was like, ooh, like that was brutal. And obviously she breaks the Daniel Barnhart's character arm, and like shoots, gives him a headshot. Classic John Wick there. And she blew up like half a dozen people in this movie. Like this is one guy, like you saw in the trailer, where she's fighting him in that armory place, and she puts the grenade or the flashbang or whatever it's called in his mouth, and she closes the door and it explodes, and then she throws another one, closes the door and explodes, and then there's another guy comes in, she hides behind the table and it explodes. And then there's another one where she tapes like that explosive device to his mouth, drops him down, he's hanging and explodes. There's like a whole bunch of explosions in this movie. I'm surprised her air drums wasn't wrong, but that was cool. I like the fight she had with John Wick. Now, the thing I appreciate about this fight was John Wick is still the Baba Yaga. Like he didn't play a jobber role in this movie. Like it wasn't like he was brought in to make her look good. It was more like, yeah, John Wick is still John Wick. So she gets her ass handed to her when she fights John Wick, and so I really appreciated that. And I like some of the lines by John Wick when when he meets her earlier in the movie and she says she wants out. He's like, yeah, there's a front door, it's open. And then I like the whole John Wick thing when the guy towards the end of the movie, he tells the Gabriel Byrne character, hey, we need to leave, blah blah. And then Gabriel Byrne's like, well, I mean, we've been around for like 200 years and we haven't had to leave the post of mine. And then the guy's like, yeah, but John Wick's on the loose. And then the next scene, he's leaving. So I thought that was funny. It's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, like even he still fears John Wick. And like one of the goons, like when they were actually trying to get John Wick, and she's like, he's just one guy, and then she gets shot. I thought that was funny. Now there's some dislikes. This is not a perfect movie. There's like a bunch of stuff in this movie that doesn't make sense, and the antagonist motive is all over the place. Let me start with some of the things. Why was the coat guy that hit her with the car? Remember, there's a scene where they don't show the action scene, but it's like one of those tropes where you see her like in the bathroom, you see the guy's dead, but then as she's walking out, clearly the implication she's killed a whole bunch of people to get into this place to get her target. She comes out, she pulls the car away, and then the guy clearly comes and runs a red light, and hits her and starts shooting at her. The eye pick guy. But we're told, and then this guy, it turns out he's part of the cult that she sees the symbol on his arm, and then that reminds her when she was a child when she saw that symbol. Okay, why is that guy there? Why does this guy have anything to do with what just happened? Because we're told by the Angelica Houston character that this cult and her family, Angelica Houston, they don't mess around with her. They basically have a deal with they don't get involved. So there's no reason for Angelica Houston to send Eve to go kill these people if they have any dealings with this cult. And why is this cult guy even trying to kill her? Because she's not even on their radar. They don't even know that she's alive or anything. So this guy has really no reason to be there to try to hit her with his car. So I didn't think that made any kind of sense at all. Now, the antagonist, so Eve's dad betrayed Gabriel Byrne and their family or whatever, right? I get that. So he said that there's retribution, so that's why he had to kill Eve's mother, and basically he was trying to get Eve back when he confronts the dad at that place at the beginning of the movie. Okay, I get it. I get that part. But when he gets after the dad has his moment, he's fighting all these bad guys. The dad is surrounded by Gabriel Byrne and all these people, and their mission is to get the girl back. And he just starts going into like some exposition, I guess, to explain to the audience the backstory or whatever, and instead of like just killing him and just tearing up the house to find Eve or surrounding the perimeter to go get the girl. He just said, okay, I'm gonna give you a choice. You can kill yourself, or you know, or both you and Eve are gonna die. It's like, well, if your whole motive is to get her back into the family, retrieve your daughter or grandchild, however you see her, like why not just kill him and then just go find the girl yourself, or why not after the explosion? Because like basically what this guy does is after Eve, it looks like to Eve that her dad's about to pull the trigger. She screams, and then that's when Gabriel Byrne realizes he's there. He doesn't like go try to get her or anything. He doesn't try to kill the dad. He just walks out, just walks away. And then later we see him, like, and there's like this explosion that the dad set off, obviously, in the building. But he doesn't like stick around, try to make sure they're dead. He doesn't surround the perimeter. I mean, clearly the girl is crying for her dad as he's dying. Like, he doesn't hear her crying. He has to go look and try to still go after this girl. And how does Eve get to that place where she finds when Winston approaches her? Because she's all by herself. She's on like some island, and then all of a sudden she ends up in this place where Winston is. It's like, okay, that was a little bit odd. And so they put a contract out on Norman Reed's character because it's basically the same situation. Norman Reed's character, I can't remember his name, but it's the guy who plays Daryl in Walking Dead. He he takes his daughter because he basically wants to get his daughter with from the family, right? So they put a contract out on him so they can basically kill him and get the daughter back, who Gabriel Byrne calls his granddaughter. But when the one of the goons shoots him, we think that he's dead because that was the whole point, is to kill him, and that's why they had this contract on him to kill him. But later on, he's in the hospital and he's like on IVs. He's fine. It's like, okay, well, why didn't that guy make sure he was dead? Or why not, if they thought he was dead, don't you think these people would have had contacts and they would have figured out this guy was still alive and they would have went after him and tried to kill him at the hospital? But no, it's just whatever. Like okay. I mean, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like you would think that if this family is so hell bent on making people pay retribution, they would make sure these people that broke the rules were dead, and they would keep going after them nonstop until they were dead. But it's just like all inconsistent. It just doesn't make any sense. And um, and I mean, they had an opportunity. The Gabriel Byrne character had an opportunity to kill Eve when she was like in the chair, and right before he goes and he finds out that she wasn't sent by Angelica Houston's family. She was there to basically find the people that killed her father, and that's when he puts two and two together and says, "Hey, oh, she's out here to kill me." Well, if you realize it at that point, why don't you just blow her brains out there and then go tell her sister, "Oh yeah, by the way, that girl's your sister, but I killed her because she's not part of the family or whatever." Blah blah. How come he just didn't do that? But no, he goes and tells the girl, and then Eve basically figures out of the way and escapes. So I mean, this a lot of the stuff just didn't make any sense. But I'm not here to looking for like an Oscar-winning plot. I'm here to watch a great action movie, great stunts, great fighting, and great shooting, and that's what I got. I was entertained by this movie from the beginning to the end, and that's where I got the popcorn and used my alias for to see that. So, is it the best one? No, I think John Wick 4 is still the best, but I think it's still a worthy addition to the franchise. And what I'd like to see more spin-off movies. I'd like to see the Donnie Yen one. No one's talking about Common. I think Common's character is still around. I mean, if you listen closely to the dialogue in the second movie, I think his character is potentially out there. So I'd like to see a spinoff with him, with the Halle Berry character and her dogs. I'd like to see that. So I like to see, there's a whole bunch of places where this franchise can go. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Ballerina. You can watch more of my reviews. Hit the subscribe button in my movie reviews so you can listen to more of my commentary about the theatrical releases that I see each week.